Hey there, I'm Debra. I am a certified master dementia strategist and a train the trainer graduate from the Alzheimer's Association. That's actually where I sort of got my beginning, was with the Alzheimer's Association. I started teaching for them, oh my goodness, 18 years ago. Can't believe I'm even saying anything 18 years ago. That's mind blowing. But I got my start with the Alzheimer's Association, and I just never stopped. I I just was sucked into this dementia world with full force. Um, the minute I took the Train the Trainer course, I was hooked. I have to admit, it was very addictive. I found my calling. I just loved it. I had never taught in my life. I started teaching. And I quickly discovered that teaching was where I should have been all these years. I missed the boat. But I'm here now, and I'm so grateful. So for whatever reason, I was given this gift. I was given the gift to teach. I was given the gift to create and solve solutions to problems that others just have not been able to do. I have cracked the code of Alzheimer's and dementia behaviors. And I know that seems really hard to believe, but I'm going to tell you it's true. So please follow me, subscribe. I have a great TikTok community. I go live almost every evening and I answer questions live on TikTok. I'd love to have you join me there. But this disease is so tough. This is probably one of the hardest things in the world to deal with, is trying to manage someone who has brain damage. Like, how do you talk to someone who has brain damage? How do you calm them down? How do you get them in the shower? How do you get results? How do you get them to take their pills, get in the car and go to the doctor's office? How do you get them engaged in an activity? These are all things that I specialize in. And what I found was it was very difficult to find doctors' offices. They just can't help you. They just don't have the answers to these problems. Like, how do you handle hallucinations? How do you calm them down when they're just crying and crying and crying, or they're exit seeking, they want to go home? What do you say to them? What do you do to them? I can teach you all of that. It actually comes very easy to me. And I have spent literally the past 18 years putting this particular program together just for you so that you don't have to suffer anymore. I've created it. It's all brand new. These are modern dementia strategies. I want to talk today about dementia symptoms because I'd like to ask you, and I'd like to ask you to put this in the chat for me. What do you think of when the word dementia comes up? What does dementia mean to you? Or what would you say is the definition of dementia? Put it down in the chat for me, and I'll be very curious to see your answer. I put this question out every once in a while to my fans on TikTok, which, by the way, thank you, fans. Thank you so much, all 500,000 of you. So I hope you're typing in the chat, and I'm going to guess that most of you are typing memory loss, cognition, right? Thinking. Those are probably what is coming to your mind. And that is exactly what should be coming to your mind. So most people, when they think about dementia, they think memory loss. And that is true. One of the symptoms of dementia is memory loss. So the first thing that I want to let you know is that dementia is a group of symptoms. It's not just one symptom. It's not just memory loss. In fact, you can have dementia and not have memory loss at all. I know, shocking, right? There are many different types of diseases that have dementia as a symptom. And some of them don't even have memory loss, or they don't have memory loss until the later stages. Alzheimer's disease in particular has short-term memory loss, and that's a very early warning sign. And Alzheimer's disease is one of the most common forms of dementia. So I think that's why a lot of us the first thing that comes to mind when we hear the word dementia is memory loss. I think that's probably why. But like I said before, dementia is a group of symptoms, and it's not just our memory. So some of the other problems that we have when we have dementia as a group of symptoms is we can have trouble with our language. So have you ever been like, and you can't think of a word, right? You're like, oh, what's it? Hand me that thingy over there, right? So you use a different word than what you were really searching for. You call it a thingy instead of the remote, right? So we can have problems with our language, but our language it's so complicated and it's so in depth because language can be the messages that you're hearing, right? So if I'm a person with dementia, I may interpret what you're saying to me differently than how you said it or what you said. I can interpret it and not hear it correctly. So it has hearing and interpreting, right? So language can be affected by our hearing and our hearing loss, which that's another whole, oh my gosh, I go so deep into that in the course. Oh my God, it's so fascinating what people with dementia are actually hearing. Oh my God, it'll blow you away. But so when we talk about the language piece, I could interpret what you're saying to me completely different than what you said. And it can come in very distorted. Then when I'm trying to communicate outwardly to you with my language, it may come out distorted. I may be thinking one thing and say another. I could be asking for a banana, but I want pizza. Pizza. Wow, that sounds really good. Distraction. So anyway, I could be thinking one thing, but I'm actually saying another. Or I could be meaning something and it comes out completely garbled up and it doesn't even have any meaning, like a made up word, a completely made up word. So dementia can be problems with our language. And that obviously can really be difficult in when you're caring for someone if the language communication back and forth is broken and damaged, which it almost always is with a person with dementia. Some other things that can be symptoms of the group of symptoms under dementia can be personality changes. And this is really tough for families, right? So if your mom was always sweet and wonderful and adorable, she could become mean and violent and vulgar. And that can be very disturbing for family members. It can be very difficult to deal with. Some other things could be facial recognition. So your person with dementia may not recognize you anymore because they're having difficulty with facial recognition. They can also have problems with their executive functioning, like sequencing and knowing how to do things in steps. They might not be able to read a menu anymore because it's just too complicated. It's too overwhelming for them. They also have problems with their vision. And the vision, it goes way beyond normal aging for the vision. That's something I really go into. Oh my gosh, in the course, it's so cool. It's so cool. I'm trying to think of some other dementia symptoms because there's just so many. So dementia affects all of our senses, not just our memory, right? Our vision, our hearing, our taste, how we feel things on our body, like even how our clothing feels touching our body. It involves all of our senses. And that's what the biggest missing piece is about dementia, because we're not taught about all these other things that factor into how the brain works and what the brain is really responsible for. And so it takes a special training. It takes a special knowledge to acquire and put all of these things together so that you can really, really understand how you can best help your person with dementia. Because if they're happier, you're going to be happier. I had someone tell me today that my course not only helped the person with dementia, but helped him. Because it really is a twofer. It helps both of you. It helps both of you. So, you know what? Pick up a copy of Forget Me Not if you don't have it already. It's changing lives all over the world. I know it will change yours too. If not, you can return it. But this is a great book. It's a great resource. You will get tremendous value from here. Go to my website, get my free download, Understanding Different Types of Dementia. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I hope you visit with me on TikTok because man, Manischewitz, we have so much fun on TikTok. Who knew? I certainly didn't. But come on over to TikTok. It's not just for the kids. It's not just for the kids. Join me. We'll have a great time. I really love having you here. Drop me a note. Let me know where you're watching from. And I'll see you next time. Together we can.